This creature is one durable son of a gun. And even though it looks like an overgrown weasel, it's fierce, smart, and shouldn't be underestimated. This is the honey badger, one of the most vicious animals on the planet. And it doesn't care.
Honey badger don't care. It just takes what it wants.
These mean, snuffling mammals gained viral fame because of their ability to battle deadly animals like cobras and lions. Even a swarm of stinging African bees doesn't deter a honey badger. So what makes honey badgers so tough? How smart are they? And do they really bite their attackers' testicles?
That's gotta hurt!
Let's get one thing straight. Honey badgers aren't badgers.
You are?
I know it's weird, but I don't make the rules, so there you go. They belong to the animal kingdom's Mellivora genus, which includes weasels and skunks.
Not me.
They live in sub-Saharan Africa, the Middle East, and Western Asia in habitats ranging from tropical forests and grasslands to arid steppes. Honey badgers grow up to 96 centimeters long and weigh about 14 kilograms. So while they're not particularly large, what they lack in size, they make up for in attitude. Honey badgers are opportunistic omnivores. This means they're not picky and will eat almost anything from berries to crocodiles. They even eat some of the world's most venomous snakes, like black mambas and cobras, which make up 25% of the honey badger's diet. Their blood has evolved to neutralize venom, so honey badgers can withstand bites and stings from snakes, bees, and scorpions. In Zambia and Guinea, these badgers have been hunted due to their resistance to poison. They're often used in medicines, as some people believe the badger's fearlessness can be transferred to humans. Luckily, despite being hunted in certain regions, they are not an endangered species. Phew!
That's early.
Honey badgers also owe their durability to their thick, tough skin. It acts like armor, protecting them from claws, stings, and teeth. It's about 60 millimeters thick, and it can even help defend them against machete blades. But that's not all. Their skin is also loose and flexible, especially around their necks. When they get caught in the maws or claws of a predator, honey badgers can twist and slip out of their attackers' deadly grips, often leaving their predators hungry and confused. Like their skunk cousins, honey badgers have scent glands at the base of their tails. When threatened, these glands spray a noxious fume that can travel up to 40 meters. These stink bombs also tranquilize bees, allowing honey badgers to feast on bee larvae undisturbed.
How disgusting is that? It eats larvae. Ew, that's so nasty.
And honey badgers are incredibly smart. They're one of the few non-primate animals that use tools. At an animal rehabilitation center in South Africa, a mischievous honey badger named Stoffel made a makeshift ladder out of stones and dirt. Then he climbed it and escaped from his enclosure. This was just one of the many tricks Stoffel used to escape, much to the amazement of his caretakers. They were especially annoyed when they found him raiding their kitchen for snacks. At the end of the day, though, it's the honey badger's brawn and fearlessness that captivates people around the world. These badgers can fight much larger predators because they know exactly where to strike their opponents. When fighting male animals, it's their testicles. Ouch! While evolutionary biologists don't fully understand this behavior, this is an important survival strategy for the honey badger. Male lions tend to avoid the small honey badger for fear of getting bitten in their you-know-whats. And who can blame them? That'll teach them to mess with the honey badger. Aw, this fella looks so happy. No wonder we love these smarty-pants mammals and their amazing personalities. Whoa! Hold on a second. This other one looks kind of spaced out. This dolphin is looped on something.
I'm just really... Hi!
We know dolphins can recognize themselves in a mirror and literally sleep with one eye open. But there's a darker, more mysterious side to them that involves its offbeat interaction with an animal deadly to us. It's the adorable pufferfish, able to get dolphins high,
You wanna get high?
yet toxic enough to kill 30 people. How can pufferfish cause some dolphins to get completely squiffed? Why would we end up 6 feet under if we tried the same thing? What other bizarre dolphin behavior might have you thinking twice about taking a swim with them? When you rank second behind only humans for the brain-to-body ratio title, you'd expect to possess some distinct character traits. For dolphins, these marine and freshwater brainiacs are known for being fairly vocal with their own language formed around chirps, whistles, and clicks. We always thought Flipper was a bit of a mouthy show-off. Would we think this chatter was so cute if we knew the conversation was, "Hey dude, anybody here know where that puffball with the tetrodotoxin is hanging out nowadays?" The puffball in question would be a pufferfish, and that naturally produced tetrodotoxin is a neurotoxin that it laces its liver, intestines, ovaries, and even its eyes with. Just 2 milligrams can choke vital sodium channels that enable nerves to kickstart the muscles responsible for breathing. Paralysis and suffocation can follow in mere minutes, with heart failure being the icing on a really depressing cake. So why can a toxin 1,200 times more potent than cyanide, with no known cure, be used recreationally by certain dolphins looking to take the edge off? In 2013, a film crew witnessed what appeared to be dolphins taking turns carefully chewing on a pufferfish. Each would hold it gently in their mouth, then spit it out for their buddies to take a hit. The theory backed by some experts is the dolphins were antagonizing the pufferfish just enough that it would release small amounts of tetrodotoxin, which rather than being a death sentence when ingested, actually acted as a narcotic. Cue the Pink Floyd. After the puffer made the rounds, these dolphins headed to the surface, apparently totally tripping fins while they stared at their own reflections in a rather zoned-out state. In another incident observed off the coast of Australia by researchers from Perth's Murdoch University, teenage dolphins were seen holding inflated pufferfish in their mouths for hours at a time before sharing the buzz love. Scientists still aren't sure why the pufferfish's toxic defense system only seems to numb dolphins, but they do think a key factor might be the small doses secreted. If this burst your bubble about how family-friendly dolphins are, you might want to plug Junior's ears before we get too far into the part about them possessing a disturbing eel fetish to go along with nasty homicidal habits.
Well, gotta go and drain the eel. It's electric.
If a male is unable to find themselves a suitable partner, they'll politely ask if they can borrow a friend's blowhole to engage in some, how shall we say, nasal sex?
Right.
Or they'll corner a live eel and turn it into a sort of genital scarf to pleasure themselves with. They can also be incredibly violent. Not only have researchers seen bottlenose dolphins randomly kill porpoises on purpose, they're also known to murder newborn offspring to force females into mating again. Not cool, dude. Not cool. We're pretty sure the high on tetrodotoxin defense doesn't carry much weight in the animal kingdom. If you feel left out because you can't take a pufferfish-fueled journey like dolphins, maybe see what's going on with people using cane toad poison to trip the light fantastic. For now, let's just marvel at why tossing deadly puffers for hallucinogenic fun and uncomfortably odd social practices help make dolphins such crazy creatures. This prehistoric bird looks like it wants to murder you in your sleep. That's probably why its gaze is affectionately nicknamed the death stare. Known as a shoebill, this bizarre bird found meme fame because of its bone-chilling stare. Even Joe Rogan gave the shoebill a social media shout-out.
Craziest animal of all time.
But this bird has other captivating attributes. How big do they get? Why do they make such jarring machine gun sounds? And if a shoebill gives you the death stare, should you be scared? Long before the shoebill found itself on social media, it appeared in ancient Egyptian artwork because it's so common in the Nile's watershed areas. Now, these creatures primarily call the wetlands of southern Uganda and Sudan their homes, and because shoebills don't migrate, they've inhabited these regions for eons. Scientists often refer to shoebills as living dinosaurs. They evolved from carnivorous dinosaurs called theropods, the same group as the colossal Tyrannosaurus rex. Over time, shoebills traded their sharp teeth and snouts for their large, distinctive beaks. These oddly shaped beaks are the bird's most striking feature and remind us of a Dutch clog shoe. It measures up to 30 centimeters long and 12.7 centimeters wide. Their bills are large, and they're so strong that an adult shoebill can decapitate a baby crocodile.
Oh, that is whack.
Shoebills are considered ambush predators. They stand completely still in the water, sometimes for hours, waiting for prey to approach. When a snack finally swims by, like a tasty lungfish, their favorite meal by the way, they plunge bill first into the water, cleaving their victim in two. Another striking feature is the shoebill's intimidating size. On an expedition to Africa in 1840, German explorers were told by an indigenous guide about an unusual bird as big as a camel, but with a bill like a pelican's. They were the first Europeans to hear of the shoebill. They get a gold star. While the shoebill is shorter than a camel, it's still a big bird. They grow up to 1.5 meters tall, with a wingspan of up to 2.4 meters, but only weigh around 6.8 kilograms, about as much as a turkey. In addition to being able to cut their prey in half, the shoebills engage in bill clattering, which they use as a greeting and during nesting. This is what creates the startling, machine gun-like sounds they're known for. Shoebills are also known for their strange ways of cooling down. Gular fluttering vibrates the throat muscles to dissipate heat. A much more unseemly cool-down technique is urohydrosis, or pooping on their legs to regulate body temperature, as one does. You'd think standing in water all day would be enough to cool them, but to each their own. I'm not judging. I kind of am. On a less disgusting note, you hopeless romantics out there might be happy to know that these birds, like swans and emperor penguins, are monogamous. And although you might be scared stiff if a shoebill gives you its famous death stare, you needn't worry. Humans are predators rather than prey to the shoebill, a vulnerable species that is becoming rare. The shoebill's dwindling population is mainly due to poaching, livestock farming, and oil drilling. These big birds are also targets of the exotic pet trade. Some private collectors reportedly pay over $10,000 to add a live shoebill to their menagerie. All right, I want names and addresses. One last oddity about shoebills is that they invert their pouches beneath their beaks over their necks and chests when they yawn. It's called glottis exposure, and while this is a strange trait, their pelican relatives do it too. Check out our episode on pelicans to learn all about it. Making machine gun noises and scaring people with their death stares is what shoebills do. And that's what makes them crazy creatures. What noise is that? A cat? A squeaky toy? Nope. This little guy's making that cute squeak. The desert rain frog. Normally we hear the low croaks of bullfrogs or the chirps of tree frogs. But these internet sensations have gone viral for their adorable squeals. They almost sound more like birds than frogs. So why do they make these sounds? Usually it's because they're afraid, and it helps them ward off potential predators or other animals that get too close. Another good reason why these guys like to squeak is their size. They're teensy tiny, only growing to about 5 or 6 centimeters. The males are smaller than the females, but they both look like puffballs. Like most other frogs, both sexes work together to reproduce. First, the male starts singing when looking for a mate. Once the female makes her choice, the pair will go back underground. To keep her smaller partner on her back, the female will secrete a type of glue that binds the two together. Isn't that nice of her? The result is around 20 eggs, which are laid in a special burrow she has made. But unlike other frog species, the eggs don't need water to develop. Amazingly, they go straight from egg to froglet, skipping the tadpole stage. Unfortunately, they don't grow much bigger than this, so they have another trick up their sleeve to ward off predators. They can blow themselves up like a balloon, with their limbs flailing about to look threatening and scary. Although we just find this adorable, kind of like an angry Kermit. And they can't even leap to escape. Their legs aren't made to jump, but they are powerful enough to crawl and dig through the sand. As their name suggests, these frogs live in sandy desert areas, which is kind of weird considering we're used to seeing frogs in damp and wet habitats. But like all of their amphibian brethren, desert rain frogs still need water. They'll live close to any water they can find. But the environment is still harsh, so the rain frog has another astonishing trick. It can put itself in a deep sleep state called estivation. In the hot summer months, their breath and heart rate drop to a minimum to save energy. They also wrap their bodies in thick mucus to stop their skin from drying out. They'll even plug their nostrils with the stuff. It's basically a form of suspended animation. They only rise when fall begins, which brings cooler and wetter weather and a change in air pressure that acts as a natural alarm clock. And soon enough, the squeaks start again. And this is why they're called rain frogs. When the rain falls, the frogs come out to play. Well, actually, to mate. They also have one last trick they use to survive. Their skin is almost transparent, especially on the belly. This allows for more moisture absorption. This all-over transparency even helps them grab water from the air on foggy nights. Although they are internet stars and are cute as hell, life isn't easy for them. Because of pollution and habitat loss, the desert rain frog is increasingly under threat. So let's hope we can still hear their unforgettable squeaks for years to come. You know what other animal is under threat? The pangolin. So why not go check that episode out right now? They squeak to ward off predators and can go into suspended animation in the summer months. That's what desert rain frogs do, and that's what makes them crazy creatures. A kangaroo is kind of like a T-Rex. It has big, strong hind legs, a long, massive tail, and short little arms. But some kangaroos make a stronger impression than others. This is the late Roger, who gained internet fame for being one ripped kangaroo. Standing at over 2 meters tall and weighing around 90 kilograms, he was a force to be reckoned with. You definitely wouldn't have wanted to mess with Roger. So why are some kangaroos so buff? Do they work out? And what do they eat? And should they wear underwear? There are 4 species of kangaroos, called the eastern gray, western gray, antilopine, and red. All of them are native to Australia. Good eye, mate. The biggest kangaroo, which is also the biggest marsupial on Earth, is the red kangaroo. Roger was a red kangaroo, and though he may be the most famous for his incredible muscles, he's not the only one. About 50% of this species' body mass is pure muscle. A 2014 study in Biology Letters said a kangaroo's tail is almost as strong as its other legs combined. That's why kangaroos often use their tails like a third leg when they stand upright. They also have large hearts and extra muscle mitochondria. Mitochondria are the parts of cells where energy is produced, and having extra makes kangaroos highly athletic creatures. It's common to see males boxing each other with their arms and their feet. They don't do this for cardio fitness or to win championships. It's to show off their strength and muscles to potential mates. Plus, male kangaroos grow as long as they're alive, which allows them to get even bigger muscles as they age. But despite their powerful hindquarters, kangaroos can't walk backward. Wait, back it up. Their strong legs, large feet, and long tails allow them to propel forward efficiently, reaching speeds of over 56 kilometers per hour. But since they're built to jump, bounding heights of about 1.8 meters and covering 7.6 meters in a single leap, these same muscles prevent them from moving in reverse. I guess everyone has a weakness, even buff kangaroos. Another unique aspect of kangaroos is their ability to live with very little water. Living in the arid and semi-arid Australian bush, desert, and grasslands, their bodies have adapted to the environment, making their kidneys highly effective at conserving water. Also, although these buff kangaroos look like meatheads, they're vegetarians. As herbivores, they get a lot of their water from the grass and foliage they eat. So although they don't want to eat you, they still bite, have sharp claws, and a mean right hook. So it's best to steer clear if you're ever confronted by one. Being buff and boxing are what kangaroos do, and that's what makes them crazy creatures.